for eating an apple. Adam and Eve were expelled from the Garden of Eden. Everyone knows this. Why did Eve pick apples? Because of a devil. He was transformed into a snake to seduce her. Everyone knows this too. The instigation of Adam and Eve stealing the apple was part of the grand scheme. What it is, only God knows. This is Crowley, the devil turned into a snake, who did the right thing to advance God's grand plan, together with Aziraphale and Angel. But against orders, give Adam the sword of fire to survive. The devil does the right thing, and an angel disobeyed orders. A black met at the beginning of the world like that. Together we are responsible for protecting the world. Humans 11 years before the end of the world. In a deserted cemetery, to demons from the ground. With a sleek countryside appearance. Both carry the danger of the market leaders. Waiting for Crowley in the dark corner of the church. Right after that, Crowley galloped over the long curly-haired Mustang. I wear sunglasses, tight pants. That's the devil player 666. All three meet to report on the day. He's proud to have planted a Dementor in the head. Full as breast thinking, the rest are boastful. Made a politician take a bribe. It's all from the Bubble Princess days. Crowley came up with a whole new breakthrough. He cut off the entire city. The two demons are showing contempt. But now, their trick only made to people corrupt. We cut off the internet at 7 p.m. It's going to drive 500,000 people crazy. It's a revolution in the evil village. But the two demons didn't come to argue about this. They came to give Crowley a basket. Inside is a baby that's starting for the end of the world. It's clear that Crowley doesn't like the end of the world. I like people. But hell chose you to be the doer. At the same time in a Japanese restaurant, the Archangel Gabriel came to see Aziraphale. Announced the Doomsday plan has begun. And he had to track Crowley down south. In another development, Arthur is driving his Deirdre wife to give birth. Along the way with them there's a couple of diplomats. She is also giving birth. Husband Thaddeus and wife Harriet. My husband is in a meeting with the president. I will give birth online. Meanwhile at birth, the sisters are preparing as carefully as possible to swap Satan's child for Harriet's family. Because this place is a church of demons in the guise of God, two babies are born at the same time. The nuns are a little confused about the dairies. Born a week earlier than expected. They also have to be taken to the delivery room. Arthur was sent outside to wait. Crowley brought the baby now. Two women gave birth to two blonde babies at the same time. Crowley's orders were brief. Is swapping with the blonde. You gave it to the stupidest nun in the hospital. And so this nun took the wrong one to Derry's room. Derry's son was swapped with Harriet's. It's called Wallach. So remember, it's as simple as this. Wallach was raised by Harriet but is Derry's son. He is mistaken for the son of Satan. The Deirdre family. They will raise the children of Satan. The name Adam. What's left of Harriet's baby? Just imagine something nice, make it fun. After painting a mess, Crowley set up, called Aziraphale to talk about the end of the world. That's until the next morning. The two met at the park. Aziraphale is confident heaven will win. Because that's how every story ends. But hell is much more fun. Because the artists are all down there. No matter which side wins. How many animals are there? Humans have also lost everything. So for the pleasure of playing, you both have to stop the end of the world. The first step of any plan is to get ready. And then I found a bar. When the wine comes in, the word comes out. So while Adam has been around for 24 hours. But the monastery was wiped out to cover up the trail. Crowley and Aziraphale are still drinking. The Aziraphale is still very confusing. Whether bringing the end of the world, is it in God's plan or not? If so, you're not allowed to interfere. Crowley convinced him to teach the little devil. It's like stopping the conspiracy of hell. Think about it a lot. Think about it. Crowley really danced his tongue 3 times for black and white. That is Aziraphale. They don't want their spiritual child. The human race was destroyed so quickly. 5 years on, 6 years from the end of the world, Aziraphale appeared at Walter's house. He was mistaken for the devil. Aziraphale fake as gardener, trying to pump politics into the boy's head. Crowley also appears here as a nanny. Both have to report to the headquarters every week. Crowley told the Blizzard God that he's about to grow a mustache and was denied access to art. Aziraphale reported to Gabriel that everything is fine. But Gabriel said that the end of the world is what's going to happen. The Aziraphale began to panic, but he didn't say anything to Crowley. Just asked the people, can you stop him when he's the strongest? Crowley said no. The hell is preparing a new pet to make a 5-year-old birthday present for Walter. Crowley immediately tells the Aziraphale to prepare. They forbid letting Wallach's name the dog. If 7 fails, the demon's destruction will be activated. The simplest way is to handle it. Get rid of this kid. But the Aziraphale doesn't work. Instead, he chose the hard way. To attend a birthday party. To prevent the dog from accepting the Crowley's side is pretending to be a guard. Watch every second for the dog to show up. As soon as the time comes, the dog was released from hell. And Wallach's birthday is never seen. The hell knows the dog has been released. It's only now that you to realize the baby's mother is wrong. Meanwhile, the dog appeared in the forest. Adam, the devil is actually playing with his friends. Adam also wanted a dog as a birthday present. And he'll call that dog a dog. For simplicity, after the moment Adam said that, an ancient curse, I connected you to Super Dog Hell, turning it into an incredibly simple-looking dog, just like Adam's wish. And then the dog just comes running in front of you. No kid cares where it came from. So everything went exactly as planned, and Crowley with the Aziraphale is repeating the process. The first step is to drink. The second step is to blame your boss for doing business like shit. By this time Crowley felt it. The hell dog got the owner. That's how they're done. The end of the world is just how they measure it in days. Time passed 2 days before the end of the world. Right now, Gabriel went to Aziraphale's bookstore to ask questions. Ask about the devil. The 4 horsemen of Revelation are about to be summoned. So they just came by to check it out. It seems that in this place hell is the production department. Heaven is in charge of the media. All Gabriel cares about is that everything's okay. What slogan should we use to talk about this? Meanwhile, hell also announced the next plan for Crowley. They need to get the baby to the Middle East, meeting with the 4 engineers of Revelation there to start a war. For now in the Middle East, 1 million healers were hired to call the 4 horsemen Doctor of Revelation. At the same time in North Africa, a peace agreement is being signed. An American redhead suddenly burst in and identified himself as Carmen. Reporters of the World's Weekly. The signing is not successful at this time. They all turn around and point hot stuff at each other. When you are nervous, you are millions. Return to delivery, Cho Carmen. Inside was a wooden sword, and Carmen was smiling. Right after the bullet fired. So the first 4 horsemen of the war appeared. Back 365 in the UK. Then the last witch hunt was held. Paul Sitter, a major, ran to a small village to capture Agnes, a woman who's supposed to see the future. But it's mostly because Agnes lives science. I know how to cure some diseases. So the people, she told the authorities that she was a witch. Agnes was not surprised to see everyone coming. They even went to the crematorium themselves. Agnes claims to be a witch. They even caught a bunch of fast timers on fire who thought she'd buried dynamite under her skirt. That's the whole village. Follow her. Ours. To leave you a collection of prophecies. There's also dominance of a bad bitten apple later. In general, there's predictions were extremely accurate, including events that take place at the end of the world. So 11 years ago, the baby demon came into the world, descendants of Agnes. I now know the value of the book, and make future generations memorize everything. So now they're extremely attention to the prophecy of the present Anatoma. This generation's granddaughter will be the one to save the world. It's in another corner of England. The Pollisters' lineage is maintained. The boy's name is Newton. Now, Newton is a part-time accountant. But Newton had a special gift. Any computer in your hand will fail. So no job stays with you for more than an hour. At the same time, Antoma came to England to carry out the mission prophesied by Agnes. Back to Newton. I'm wandering the streets. I met a strange old man on the street. After a conversation, he told you to meet him in the morning to start a trial. What will these to have to do with the story? I will know later. At the same time, Crowley's side was venting on the trees. Because the task that hell has given me can't be done. You don't know where the devil is. And Aziraphale. Someone called in to ask about Agnes's book, but the Aziraphale doesn't know. This book still exists on Newton's side. This guy's at the rendezvous point with Old Kier. He claimed to be Satwell, the last witch hunter. Newton will now join their 2-man army. The main job here is to filter newspapers to find strange things. At the same time, Aziraphale with Crowley realized that the demon has been swapped since birth. The 2 immediately went looking for information. Meanwhile, Adam, still playing with friends in the neighborhood. If I told him to grow up to be a fuckboy, I'd believe it. But destroying the world doesn't look like it. Looks good. Adam's friends have Jeremy, the homeroom kid. A little girl named Pepper. I come from a tribe that needs. Brian's a dirty boy in the village. They have a new Antoma. The neighbors say that Antoma is a witch. No one wants to burn you anymore. It's just Joe Adams' kids. I'm excited about hunting. Child witches don't have a clue. Antoma stumbled upon them. And be curious, Theo, what we're playing. They chose Jeremy as a witch and put him on a swing pretending to torture. Antoma also asked Adam if anything happened Without even knowing, the devil with the hell dog is right in front of her. Back to Crowley and Aziraphale. They went to the old convent for clues. As soon as they entered, they were attacked. It turns out that this place has turned into a shooting map. Crowley turned all the guns into real guns. Now, everything that happens is for real entertainment. Here's a sentence Crowley's not that crazy about. It's all an illusion. At this moment the head of the monastery appeared. That's the stupid nun who changed the wrong baby. To this day, you still think you did the right thing, and don't remember anything useful. Now they have to investigate everything from the beginning. On the way back, Crowley ran into Antima. Aziraphale quickly used healing magic for her, and Crowley fixed the car. Aziraphale is nice to catch Crowley. Take this girl back to the village. Antima comes home, but he left Aknet's prophecy in his car. Forever a while later, Antima just realized when Crowley had left. Meanwhile, the Crowleys didn't know where to start, so decide to do it yourself. Their own agents to search. It was time for Aziraphale to get out of the car and go back to the bookstore. Discovered the book. Aziraphale is hidden for Crowley. I know what this book is, and excitedly hugging the book about the store itself. Aziraphale is extremely surprising in its accuracy, so meticulous that Dog Gray, after all night of research, Aziraphale deciphered the numbers 66 and made a test call. That's Adam's phone number. The boy's voice came out of the phone. Just like the book says, they caught the demon. To ignore the story of the impending apocalypse, to look back on Crowley's 1,000 years of friendship with Aziraphale a little. Sometime after Adam, Eve left the Garden of Eden. The Aziraphale also stealthily left here. God also asked about the sword. But the licked Aziraphale dared not tell the truth. God doesn't he do anything to you either. In Mesopotamia 3004 BC. Aziraphale meets Crowley at Noah's Ark. Crowley asked about the boat. I know God is going to push the water button. The toilet is here. It's more violent than hell. Then God will give it to the living. Missing a rainbow. And promised I'll never do that again. Right now, both feel sorry for those who are about to be drowned. 33 BC in Costa Rica. You to meet again. At the time Jesus was crucified on a tree. Once again they both feel sorry for Jesus. 8 years later they met again in Rome. When we meet for the third time, we know each other. Aziraphale invited Crowley to eat together. In Wessex Kingdom, 500 B07 AD, the two sides met again during the mission. One side called for war in this kingdom. One side came to restore peace. Once you know each other, stop fighting. Crowley suggested, write a report that good and evil annihilate themselves. Now they drink is beautiful. That was the first time Aziraphale falter on duty. At the London Theatre 1601. Crowley and Aziraphale became close. Take turns doing tasks for both of you. That way a person gets more rest. In Paris year 97 BA. This time Ajax failed to be locked up in prison, prepared to be executed by hanging. Crowley was curious. Turns out Aziraphale run to France to buy food in times of intense fighting, to get caught here for dressing like a brother. The Aziraphale is to blame for blessing too much. So now I can't afford to be miscellaneous. Fortunately, no one in hell cares about that. So Crowley's comfortable helping out his old friend. In return, Aziraphale invited lunch today, back to the park in London in a year 862. Crowley's doing something risky right now. So asked Aziraphale for some holy water. But the Aziraphale refused. He didn't want to be found befriending a demon. London A9 for 1. Aziraphale to meet his spies at a church. And sold the books to Hitler. But there's no Agnes book in there. It's been cancelled by the publisher. All that's left. It's a prophecy about not buying Betamax stock. Soon after, two agents tried to kill him, but Aziraphale doesn't really do business with us. You're just bait for your agent. But this agent is a German spy. Turns out Aziraphale was tricked beautiful. Crowley came to the rescue. Even if the devil comes into the church, it's piss. Crowley. A minute later this church will be bombed. They don't believe in the next attack in the other direction. Crowley is the devil. How can he change it? It's about using human miracles to wipe people out. Right. He saved his friend and saved the books of prophecy. He also destroyed a 10-point church in Soho, London. Year 1967. Crowley hired a gang to steal stuff from the church, and the witch hunter Satan. Newton was also in this group. Aziraphale immediately ran to ask, you don't want Crowley stealing holy water, just touch it, and the devil will burn it. To prevent the theft from happening, Aziraphale hands holy water to Crowley. This will be added to a picnic later. Back to reality. It's Thursday. The day before the end. Aziraphale after knowing the child's location. It's a headache to tell heaven. Without doubt. They're quick to find them either way. thanks to the dog of hell. But I knows the hell dogs have been tamed. It's now the neighbor's cat that can't even fight. Adam sees Asima pounding her boobs. I blame myself for losing the book. The two started getting to know each other. Ashima invited him into the house for a drink. The dog of hell stopped. Because there's a horseshoe hanging at the front door. Cast out the devil. It flushed red as if it had just been heated. Hell dogs in this shape are less hellish. So, it's still running into the house, leaving a scorching horseshoe in front of the door. Satwell came to Crowley at the same time. He thought Crowley was the owner's son. And this tenant's family has fed this witch hunt team. Crowley gave me the address of the door. He's looking for the demon. Back to Fatima. She explained to Adam about the power of the family. It's seeing other people's energy fields. But you can't see Adam's aura, because this kid's aura is so big. At the same time, Aziraphale ran to heaven to report the demon. He did his best to reveal information to Gabriel to destroy the demon, avoid the war between heaven and hell. But all the other angels are waiting for this fight. And it has to start with the end of the world. Back to Fatima. She kept running around the village watching people. But the gesture of taking notes make people think you to steal something. The neighborhood guard ran to ask Asima. I asked if there was a dog in the village. This guy looks at you like a jerk. She at this time Aziraphale contacted his secret service. It is also Satan. Aziraphale ordered him to watch the demon. So Satan gets two identical missions. That the Aziraphale and Crowley. I don't know if I'm asking the same person in a different way. The second horseman of Revelation, Raven or Famine, has appeared. The deliveryman delivered him a scale. Raven immediately quit his job and fled to England. Back to Newton. I discovered some news, unusual weather in the village. So volunteered with Satwell to get there. Satwell agreed immediately. This makes it easier to do both tasks. Aziraphale sighed. He got an appointment from Crowley. Crowley eagerly asked if he had investigated anything. The end of the world is near. And there's no information. If they find it, they both take responsibility. Handle the boy. If you can't find it, we'll hide. Even though they both look gay. Aziraphale heard that, suddenly thought out a way, but he didn't want to share it with Crowley. Because both SAOs are different sides. That attitude made Crowley. They feel that their friendship has been betrayed. At the same time, Adam read about nuclear power generation from a pile of books and newspapers brought back from Antima's house. Nuclear plants generate a large amount of energy. I don't know where it came from. They immediately asked permission to open the nuclear reactor, and I found a candy in there. That's the candy in Adam's room. Just one candy. It radiates energy like a nuclear plant. How strong is Adam's power? Somewhere else in the world, the ship that discovered Atlantis. It's also one of Adam's things. Read it in the book. The boy's power is really changing. The world is lucky now. He just read some bad news from Antima's house. And then the end of the world came. Aziraphale immediately ran to Gabriel. Persuade him to stop the end of the world. Gabriel was determined to follow God's plan. He asked about the Sword of Fire. But the Aziraphale is long gone. Meanwhile, the courier prepared to wake up the other two engineers. On the side of heaven, the relationship between Aziraphale and Crowley was discovered. They immediately called hell to ask. Confirmed that Aziraphale does not change sides. And by the way, they also reminded them to investigate Crowley. And Crowley's looking for a new port of call. But there's no planet as fun as Earth. He still blames God for the end of the world. Meanwhile, the courier went to a rural area, looking for a guy named Chucky. He's enjoying the polluted river in front of him. That's right, he's the plague. His weapon is a black crown. Now there's only one last person. The courier was a little hesitant to read the address. He left a note for his wife. Because the last one, you can only see it when you're dead. The last of the 4 horsemen of death. He was only given orders to start a war. Back to Adam. He took his friends to Antima's house. Please add more books to read. Newton went to Satwell's house to pick up the gear. A jacket and some crap. On Newton's way to the village, more and more strange things happen. The Mongols are actually digging tunnels to spy on you. Alien flying saucers appear. I made you pull over to the side to talk about space peace. Newton stunned to report to Satwell. But the old man cares. They're not hunting aliens. And Adam went on to save all the whales. So, all the illegal fishing vessels were taken by the Kraken. The attack is now in hell. The demons began collecting 10 pieces of evidence to convict Crowley back to Newton. You avoid the Mongols coming to the surface. Should drive the car into the side of the road. It's accidental. This is in line with Eggs's next prophecy, warning Antima that witch hunters are coming. At the same time in the Megiddo Plains, It's also where the end of the world happens. The Devil's team went there to investigate the situation. It's 20 minutes on schedule. The Devil and the Dog of Hell will come here. 4 horsemen will appear at the same time, and the end of the world will begin. But Adam is still at Antima's house. They brought Newton here for treatment, just like the prophecy. Also here, Adam saw a picture of the Devil and stare for a long time. Something started to molt in him. He told his friends to leave first, but then suddenly appeared, blocking the road in the forest. Back to Messi. Wallach and the ambassador's family are here for the reason of visiting the Devil's archaeological site. Hastus personally came to receive them, but he was wondering because the Wallach was here. I don't see where the hell dog is. It was only now that he realized Wallace wasn't the Devil. Hastus immediately exasperated to contact Crowley. He has lost the child of the Devil. He's going to go to Crowley right away to figure this out. Back to Antima. Wait for Newton to wake up and tell me about the trouble between our ancestors. Lucky, Antima also kept a copy of each prophecy. So the loss of books is not too influential. You also said the end of the world is coming in 5 hours, specifically 6:30 this afternoon. You haven't found out where the Devil is yet. Antima gave Newton a prophecy to read. I just looked at Adam's address. It's hidden in here. Antima realized that Adam was the Devil. At the same time, Adam did not criticize the children. The scared kids don't want to go. But Adam's no longer their friend. In another development, Crowley ran to find the Aziraphale to invite you to flee from the earth. Only God can save them now, but that's also the plan of the Aziraphale. You want to pray to God. Crowley walked away angry. To the end. Crowley was thinking about using holy water. The 2 demons also came. Crowley pushed the holy water up the open door. Trapped them. But the trap only caught one guy. He immediately melts into nothingness. Only Hastur is alive. And Crowley had a holy water spray in his hand. Turns out the holy water plan is for now. But Hastur realized that the spray contained ordinary water. For what reason did Crowley's hand not get out? At this time, Aziraphale called. Crowley immediately picked up and told him to call back. Then he confidently told the haters that this is a test of the Devil. Crowley immediately pulled out the phone, pretend to call the Shadow Council, but immediately disappeared into the phone. That's great, Devil. Angel look general is no specific size. So Crowley. It can be as small as an atom. It's hiding in the radio waves. Right after that, Hastur also chased after Crowley, tricked him into getting lost on an old cell phone and get stuck in it. Crowley ran off to find the Aziraphale. So what happened to this angel? Back 28 minutes ago, the angels caught it. Azazel for dealing with the Devil. They made Azazel choose sides. At that moment, Heaven summoned the crowd to leave. At the same time, Adam. The boy became more and more angry. The weather turns to thunder and rain and storm. Even Adam unleashed the power to start flying. Back to Antima. Yuta just came out of the house to stop Adam. Was caught in a tornado outside the house. According to the prophecy, the storm will lighten in a minute, then come back strong. They can run straight into the house. Also according to the prophecy, Agnes said to stay together. So Newton and Antima kissed under the bed. Meanwhile at Satwell's house, the pin on the map starts to smoke black. He realized Newton wasn't healed. The old man immediately came to save the boy. Newton's side is about to move on to phase 2. The map also caught fire. In Satwell's mind, the witch is torturing the young soldier. That's what it is. At the same time on the Aziraphale side, he set up a summons to contact his superiors, and Satwell's running to find him. Aziraphale caught in contact with the Lord's assistant, but this person also agrees about the end of the world. Aziraphale was confused about what to do. Meanwhile Satan, I saw it all outside, and trying to lock in. Aziraphale, call Crowley now. That's Crowley. I'm in the section dealing with Hastur earlier. Satan is now inside. He thought Aziraphale was a witch. Should force the Aziraphale into it. Immediately, Israel was summoned to heaven while Satan. Fear of leaving. A candle caught fire in Israel's books. Until Crowley came running. The library was on fire. He was angry because he thought the Aziraphale had destroyed her. Adam is ready for the end of the world. Aziraphale is back in heaven. At this time the war is very intense. Your body is gone. The sword of fire is no more. Aziraphale wants to return to Earth. But now there's nobody coming back. Only the Devil can do it. That's Aziraphale despite using the Earth of Heaven. It could transport you back to Earth. Back to Newton and Antima. To people after the rain, Antima continued to follow Agnes's instructions. Newton realized that you've never decided for yourself because everything was predicted by our ancestors. Crowley's side was drunk at a bar. Tell me about the day Lucifer tempted him to be the devil. At this time the Aziraphale appeared as a soul. Asked Crowley to get Agnes's prophecy. even if the whole bookstore is on fire. But luckily Crowley took it. There's a note inside that says Adam's address. Aziraphale said Crowley has to get there now. You have to find a body to enter. At the same time, the 4 horsemen gathered in the village. On the other side, Aziraphale has found someone to enter. That's Satan's neighbor. There's only an hour and 43 minutes until the end of the world, and Crowley's stuck on the highway. But this traffic jam is the product. His heart the day before. Back to Satan. He woke up and found out Aziraphale entered the neighbor. Because you are an angel, so the Aziraphale doesn't take over completely that shared body with Bada. The end of the world is coming, but the Aziraphale is still telling the story to Satan. At the same time, on the highway where Crowley's driving, the whole road suddenly caught fire, turning it into a ring of fire around London. Crowley's getting harder to move. In another development, a firefighter called Crowley's house number, so Hastur followed this line to get out. Back to Satan. Aziraphale, he said he was the one who would destroy the demon. I didn't know it was real, or just Aziraphale to recruit members. However, Satan also has a pretty good reputation. Hastur appeared next to Crowley. But the two sides don't fight, because Hastur needs to go follow Crowley to see the demon. But they have to find a way to get past that firewall. Crowley frantically crashed straight into the flames. Hastur goes a long way and burns up. And Crowley, there is a power that no demon has. That's the imagination. He imagined himself and the car. It's not so. Remember, the burning car was still zipping through the flames. Back to Adam. The boy has now called for centuries of revelation to come. He still loves his friends in the village. I promised to give each of you 6 plays, but the kids are upset about being forced to do that. So as soon as they were freed, they turned their backs. Even the hell dog. At this moment a voice tells you to fuck them. For the fate of the ruler is lonely. But Adam destroyed the storm. Fly to the roadblock. Sorry guys, but no one wants to play with Adam right now. So Adam used all his power. Erase what you've created in the past. Adam came back like a normal baby. You don't want to go to the end of the world. Back to Antima. After losing track, I don't know what the next prophecy is. Newton realized that Agnes predicts what will happen in the future. It means that Antima can just pick one at random. Because it's definitely the future, Agnes predicted it. That's how they got the Doomsday site. That's the airbase near the village. The 4 horsemen arrived in the village. The Antima with Newton also came about. At the Air Force Base, Fake Night Quartet, form of inspection, and convenient to go inside. For the Antima with Newton, follow the instructions to a section of fence that's broken down by a tree. No guards found out about this place. On the Adam side, they said the engineers wanted to start a nuclear war by hacking into military computer systems, and they decided to ride their bikes to stop them. Now the engineers have started their plan. All the electricity in the world is controlled. The ballistic missile system is activated. The end of the world begins to count down every minute. Crowley also came to the village. I'm racing to catch up. The remaining 17 minutes of humanity. Meanwhile, the Aziraphale has arrived with Satan. Crowley's coming in a few seconds. I'm going to talk to the guards. Then the door suddenly opened. 4 Adam kids ride their bikes straight inside. Just arrived. Adam called out the names of the 4 horsemen. Back to outside the gate. The Aziraphale still stuck with the guard. Crowley's painfully busy with the car that just exploded. So the Aziraphale had to go out and call out the soldier. At the same time, Satan raised his hand. So the delusional old man has real power. Right now, there's another person who knows that Adam came to the airbase. That's Arthur. Father on the devil's papers. The 4 children are still facing the 4 horsemen. Antima and Newton sneak into the computer lab. Now it's time for Newton's superpowers. This is outside. Crowley and Aziraphale join us. You want to destroy Adam. But Aziraphale can't act. Adam calmly said something. So the Aziraphale was immediately separated from Mrs. Keir with a brand new body. The boy's strength was enough to get what he wanted. The boys had declared war on the 4 horsemen. The problem is that these riders aren't real. They're the embodiment of human fear. I am not afraid of tigers. The children's unwavering innocence. They beat each engineer one by one. A mute giraffe suddenly realized. They're using your flaming sword. It's all about death. This guy doesn't dare face it. At that time in hell, attack the devil, ready for war with heaven. But at the right time, they feel bad. Back to Newton and Antima. Newton after pressing a few buttons, then the whole computer went down. The end of the world ended so quickly. Adam immediately orders death to stop. It's a part of nature, so it's immortal. So, Adam just threw him out. But it's not over yet. Heaven and hell want war. At this moment Antima ran to Crowley for the book. Crowley threw her back. A prophecy accidentally flew out and fell into the hands of Aziraphale. At that moment, Gabriel and Beelzebub appeared. You want Adam to restart the end of the world? Angel with the devil. We need to figure out who's the father. That's what the big plan decided. Aziraphale immediately questioned the grand plan, but the grand scheme is not allowed to say Ra. So why? Blizzard and Gabriel confirmed that. You two are stupid. I want a call to ask above. If there is a problem, blame it immediately. Aziraphale and Crowley. Right after you two disappear, an earthquake appeared. We all know that Satan is coming. Aziraphale caught Crowley not to give up. They took Adam to an empty land. Persuade him to find a way to handle it. Thanks to the mistake of the past, Adam is not subject to heaven or hell. Interference in life. He grew up as a human. So in this reality it's going to be the strongest. You to finish talking and bring him back to reality. Now Satan has come. Adam refused to accept the reality. Immediately removed the appearance of Satan. It's only now that it's really over. To people that night, Aziraphale and Crowley tired of sitting together. The Aziraphale prophecy in the afternoon. It says you'll soon face fire. At this time the courier arrived and retrieved the items of the 4 horsemen. The fire sword of the Aziraphale was also taken away. Why is this guy alive? Because Adam recreated the world. The living and the dead are back. To Aziraphale's bookstore as well as old. So is Crowley's car. Newton and Atima decided to stay together. Everything is so good. There's always a problem. Shortly after that, Aziraphale was captured by heaven. Crowley was dragged to hell. They both faced the judgment of their own kind. The two sides even worked together to punish them. Crowley's going to have to bathe in holy water. Azrael was burned in the fires of hell. In another development, Newton got a box from the law firm. The person in charge said that this item was deposited 300 years ago. Inside is what Agnes left behind. It's a prophecy for a new world. That Antima is tired of following the prophecies. So you and Newton decided to burn it down. Back to heaven. Aziraphale facing the fire. Dante forget to say hello before going inside. At the same time in hell, Crowley also jumped straight into the bathtub, but it wasn't made shit. The Aziraphale is the same in the fire. The hell is so scared. Leave it to Crowley. What happened, after all? Crowley and Aziraphale follow Agnes's warning. We decided to exchange bodies. Both of them escaped punishment from heaven and hell. At least both will avoid trouble for a while. But Crowley had a really bold idea. That people will soon turn against God. You have to raise the glass first. And immediately subscribe to the channel along with a like. Before and now, I'm writing. Hello and see you later.